Hello, everybody. We have another 2016 alternate history election between John Kasich and Hillary Clinton. So, John Kasich, he is definitely the strongest Republican candidate. We could just take a look at the real clear polling average. He was leading by a likely Republican margin against Hillary Clinton in the popular vote. He didn't have a lot of scandals with him. He was pretty much like the average Republican back then, which kind of makes sense why he's leading by so much. Hillary Clinton was very unlikable. John Kasich, he was a boring Republican, but boring's enough to just beat someone that's hated. So he would have probably landslided Hillary Clinton with such a huge popular vote lead like this. I think he just would have swept with independent voters across most of these states. He was very popular in the state of Ohio, so I think he would have done well in the Rust Belt too. But let's just get to this map. So we're going to start off with the safe blue states: California, Washington, Hawaii, DC, Maryland, Massachusetts, Vermont, Rhode Island, New York, Illinois. Yeah, that's pretty much all the safe blue states. Again, John Kasich, with that big of a popular vote lead, it'd make a lot of safe blue states likely blue. So now we're going with the safe Republican states. So, again, I mean, he wasn't the most populist Republican, but he would have just swept with independent voters, so he really didn't need to be that populist to do well. The state of Texas probably would have been safe Republican. Florida probably would have been about likely Republican or so with that big of a popular vote lead. His state of Ohio, he had a gigantic lead against Hillary Clinton in his home state, so it was well over 10 points. Iowa as well, it was also just a pretty big lead too. Nebraska second probably would have been about a likely Republican district. He would have done extremely well in the suburbs in most of these states. Probably would have won a few of them, unlike Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't do the best in these suburban parts of states, but John Kasich probably would flip a lot of them red. So let's see, what other states would he make safe? Probably Georgia, because Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, and Georgia was likely Republican, so he probably would have won it by a safe Republican margin. North Carolina probably would have been likely R. Okay, we're going to get into these likely blue states. So Hillary Clinton, she still would have won Oregon by a likely blue margin. Same with Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut. Rhode Island's debatable if it could go down to likely blue in this scenario. I would just still put it safe blue. But again, we saw Hillary Clinton underperform in Delaware, New Jersey, and Connecticut, even against Trump, because he portrayed himself as a more moderate type of candidate on some issues, like social issues specifically, not on immigration. Immigration, he was right-wing. But again, John Kasich, being a more well-liked Republican, probably seen as the more moderate candidate, would do better with independent voters. He would definitely get these states to be a lot more competitive than they were in 2016. In the state of Virginia, even though Tim Kaine would be Hillary Clinton's VP choice, it probably still wouldn't matter. Just Kasich's popular vote lead of like 7 points on average, he probably would have won Virginia kind of easily. Arizona probably would have been a likely R margin. Nevada, probably about Leonard. She did have a pretty strong support among Latino voters, but still wouldn't be enough to override that big of a popular vote lead. I still think Hillary Clinton probably would have ended up winning New Mexico, even with that huge lead for John Kasich here. Colorado, however, would have gone Republican here. Colorado was a lot closer than New Mexico back in 2016. In New Hampshire, he probably would have won here. Same with Maine, honestly. I think he would have done pretty well in this state. And Hillary Clinton barely won Maine against Donald Trump, so with John Kasich being a stronger candidate, he probably would have flipped the state. And now in these last 4 Rust Belt states, I think he probably would have ended up sweeping them against Hillary Clinton. He probably would have won Wisconsin, not by a likely margin, because, again, he wouldn't be the best fit with populist voters. However, he would have done well in one of the suburbs in each of these states. So he would have done pretty effective here in the suburbs in these states. But Wisconsin would have been lean R. Pennsylvania probably would have been lean R. Michigan, and even the state of Minnesota, which she barely won against Donald Trump. Trump almost flipped that state red. So with Kasich, he's just a better Republican candidate, probably the best Republican candidate they had in the 2016 Republican primary. He probably would have ended up sweeping the Electoral College in a victory, sort of like this one. I mean, Other potential flips would be New Mexico, but I still think Hillary Clinton would have won that state because of her Latino support was actually quite well in the 2016 election. Other states that could turn likely blue, maybe a state like Illinois, because it is situated in the Rust Belt. I could see John Kasich bringing down the margin there. But I still think it probably would have remained an over 10-point victory. Maybe Washington could get down to likely blue as well, maybe Rhode Island, but I still think it probably would have remained safe blue. So Kasich, he probably would have won the popular vote by 7% or so, like the average of the polls were saying. I think he would have just swept Hillary Clinton. I really didn't think she had a chance here, and she was kind of right to try to make the nominee on the Republican side, Donald Trump, by just relentlessly attacking him. Because if it was Kasich, he would have swept her. But it still was a mistake because she should have picked probably Ted Cruz to amplify in that primary. But other than that, this would have been the 2016 election if it was these two candidates. So if you enjoyed this video and you aren't subscribed already, I highly recommend doing so. If you have any other video recommendation ideas, I'll totally take them into consideration. Comment them down below in the comment section. Other than that, thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.